Have you ever felt drained, overwhelmed, or resentful because you've said yes when you really wanted to say no? What if you could learn how to set boundaries without feeling guilty, without second-guessing yourself? In this video, we're going to explore powerful ways to reclaim your time, energy, and peace of mind. You'll discover why setting boundaries is essential for your well-being and how to do it in a way that feels empowering, not selfish. So, let's dive into the art of setting boundaries without guilt, starting right now. Boundaries. A simple word that carries so much weight. When you think about boundaries, what comes to mind? Maybe you picture walls, barriers, and walls that keep people out. But boundaries are not walls. Boundaries are the invisible lines that define your limits and protect your personal space. They allow you to take control of your life without compromising your values, your well-being, or your mental health. Let's look at this. When we fail to set boundaries, we end up saying yes to everything, even when it doesn't serve us. We spread ourselves too thin and begin to lose ourselves in the process. Here's the catch. Boundaries are an act of self-respect. They're not about cutting people off, but rather about ensuring that your needs are met too. In fact, by setting boundaries, you create space for more authentic relationships, better productivity, and a deeper sense of fulfillment. So why don't we set them? Because somewhere along the way, we've been conditioned to believe that setting boundaries means we're being selfish or rude. But what if I told you that failing to set boundaries is actually more selfish? Because when you burn out, you won't be able to give anything to anyone, including yourself. Guilt. The emotion that paralyzes us from saying no, even when we know it's the right thing to do. But why does guilt creep in whenever we try to establish our own space? Society often tells us that being a good person means being available, helpful, and self-sacrificial. And while that's admirable, it can leave us feeling exhausted and depleted. Think about it. How many times have you said yes to a request you didn't want to fulfill simply because you didn't want to disappoint someone? Guilt plays a huge role in this. We fear disappointing people, upsetting them, or making them think less of us. The thing is, those fears are often based on assumptions and not on reality. In fact, setting boundaries teaches others how to respect you. Before we move on, if you're learning something valuable right now, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. By doing so, you're taking the first step in creating a life filled with boundaries that empower you, not drain you. And if you're ready to take things to the next level, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on more life-changing content like this. Now that we've uncovered why guilt holds us back, let's talk about the psychology of boundaries. Boundaries aren't just a personal choice, they are a psychological necessity. In fact, psychologists have long studied the impact of healthy boundaries on emotional well-being. Research shows that people who establish clear boundaries tend to have better mental health, improved relationships, and a greater sense of self-worth. Why? Because boundaries allow us to preserve our energy for the things that truly matter. But boundaries aren't just about saying no to others. They're also about saying yes to ourselves. They're about recognizing our needs and prioritizing our own well-being. When we learn how to set boundaries, we tap into a new level of self-awareness. We become more in tune with our feelings, our limits, and our desires. And when we honor those boundaries, we start to feel more confident and more capable of navigating life's challenges. Think about the last time you set a clear boundary. How did it feel afterward? More powerful, more in control. That's the magic of healthy boundaries. They unlock a life that's truly yours. Now that we understand the psychology, let's dive into the different types of boundaries you can set in your life. There are several types of boundaries: physical, emotional, mental, and even time boundaries. Each one plays an important role in maintaining a balanced, healthy life. Let's start with physical boundaries. These involve your personal space, your body, and your privacy. Physical boundaries could mean saying no when someone asks for a hug, or telling a friend that you need to take a break during a long conversation. These small acts of self-respect teach others how to interact with you. Next, Emotional boundaries are equally as important. These are the lines that protect your feelings. Emotional boundaries prevent others from manipulating, guilt-tripping, or taking advantage of your kindness. Setting emotional boundaries means understanding that it's not your responsibility to carry someone else's emotions or solve their problems. Then there are mental boundaries. These protect your thoughts, beliefs, and opinions. Setting mental boundaries means standing firm in your beliefs, even if they're different from others. It's about having the freedom to think independently. Finally, time boundaries are essential. Your time is one of your most valuable resources, and if you don't protect it, it can easily slip away. Setting time boundaries means saying no to unnecessary commitments, focusing on your priorities, and making room for yourself. Now that we know the types of boundaries, you might be wondering, how do I actually start setting these boundaries in my life? Let's move into that next. So, how do you actually start setting boundaries without feeling guilty? It's not as hard as you might think, but it requires practice, self-awareness, and the willingness to stand your ground. The first step is to recognize that boundaries are not a one-time event. They're an ongoing process. They evolve with your needs and your personal growth. Step 1. Start by being clear about your limits. Know what you're willing to accept and what you're not. If someone asks for a favor and it doesn't align with your values or needs, it's okay to say no. Step 2. Communicate your boundaries clearly and respectfully. Don't leave people guessing about what you need. Be direct, but kind. Step 3. Be consistent. If you set a boundary, stick to it. If you let people cross your boundaries once, they'll start to think it's okay to do it again. Step 4. Be prepared for pushback. Not everyone will respect your boundaries right away. Some might try to manipulate you or guilt trip you. That's normal. Stay strong, and remember why you're doing this. Your peace of mind, your health, and your happiness. Step 5. Practice self-compassion. Understand that setting boundaries can be uncomfortable at first, especially if you're not used to it. But it gets easier with time. In fact, as you get more comfortable setting boundaries, you'll start to feel a new sense of freedom, a sense of control over your life that you never thought possible. Now, let's dive into how boundaries actually improve your life. What are the tangible benefits of setting boundaries? Why is it worth the effort? First, boundaries help you prioritize your mental and emotional health. By saying no to things that drain you, you open up space for things that truly nourish you. Second, boundaries strengthen your relationships. When you set clear boundaries, people learn how to treat you with respect. This leads to deeper, more meaningful connections based on mutual understanding. Third, boundaries help you manage your time more effectively. When you stop saying yes to everything, you can focus on what truly matters, your goals, your passions, and your personal growth. And finally, boundaries give you the ability to be present. When you're not constantly worrying about other people's needs or trying to please everyone, you can show up for yourself in ways you never imagined. If you're ready to start setting boundaries today, give this video a like and share it with someone who might need this message. Together, we can create a world where self-care and mutual respect aren't just ideals, but everyday realities. By liking and sharing, you're helping to spread this empowering message and supporting others in their journey to live more authentically. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our content that's all about personal growth, mindfulness, and living with intention. Let's keep this conversation going in the comments. What boundaries are you working on setting in your life? I'd love to hear your story and support you as you take that next step toward living with greater peace and fulfillment. See you in the next video.